Welcome to the Bill George Arena and the John Brown University Commencement. We are expecting a full house for graduation, so we ask that you please fill in your rows so guests still arriving can find seating. Thank you. Welcome to the John Brown University Commencement. At this time, we ask if you would take your seat and turn off all your electronic devices for the consideration of those around you and our technical services team. The ceremony will begin shortly. have your attention, please? The arena in which we are gathered today is named in honor of Mr. Bill George, who came to JBU as a student in 1944, graduated in 1948, and then served for 51 years as a member of our Board of Trustees. In honor of his grandfather, Mr. Ryan George has composed the piece we will now hear entitled, Where Eagles Soar.
Welcome to the Fall 2023 graduation of students at John Brown University. We are pleased to have this opportunity to honor our graduates. 3 students are candidates for the associate's degree. 73 students are candidates for the bachelor's degree. 87 students are candidates for the master's degree. We are also recognizing 28 students with Latin honors, 3 students with distinction, 2 who have completed our university honors program, and 2 with presidential honors. Included in today's participants are students present and online from 19 states and 6 foreign countries. This is the day that the Lord has blessed. Thank you for helping make this day possible. Will you please stand for the processional?
Please join me in prayer. Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, we come to you today on this day of celebration and thank you for the opportunity that each of these graduating students has had over the past 4 years. Opportunities to learn and grow, explore, and lead. As we think of the past 4 years, we thank you that they have persevered during the challenging days of the pandemic and the times of remote learning and isolation. Today, as we celebrate, we thank you for the family and friends, many who are attending today, who supported and encouraged these students. We pray that each one of their relationships with students and professors and each one of their experiences in the classroom, on the stage, on the athletic fields, and in the dorms will prepare them for the future direction that you are calling them to. May you continue to lead these students as they now become graduates. Lead them so they may be light in a world of darkness. Lead them so they may love their neighbors and continue to lead them into your truth as they seek to love you with all their heart, all their soul, all their strength, and all their mind. We now ask you to bless the ceremony, and may that all we do and say be to your honor and glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart, not be all else to me, save that thou art. Thou my great Father, I thy true Son, thou in me dwelling, and I with thee one. Riches I heed not, nor man's empty praise. Thou mine inheritance now and always. Thou my best thought by day or by night. Waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. High King of heaven, my victory won. May I reach heaven's joys, O bright heaven's sun. Thou and thou only first in my heart. High King of heaven, my treasure thou art. High King of heaven, my treasure thou art.
Good morning. Let me extend to you my warm welcome to our JBU 2023 Fall Commencement. It's my great pleasure and honor to introduce our speaker, John Spence. John graduated from JBU in 2003 and then completed a master's degree at JBU in Leadership and Ethics. He served as a Soderquist Fellow at JBU's Soderquist Milestone Leadership Center. Carol, his wife, is also a JBU grad, and they have 4 children, Lily, Bella, Violet, and William. Since 2007, John has been an owner-operator of 2 different Chick-fil-A's in the Little Rock area. In other words, John leads a team that makes the best chicken sandwiches and has the most efficient drive-through system in the entire world. And John, those of us that love JBU and love the city in which we are located have just one question for you. How can we get a Chick-fil-A here in Siloam Springs? I already know I've asked him that question 700 times. It's not his job, so please don't ask him after graduation. I've gotten to know John well over the last 7 years because he also serves on JBU's Board of Trustees. I've admired his energy, his faithfulness, his wisdom, and his generosity as he seeks to steward JBU's mission in ways that serve students better. He always asks probing questions during the meetings, and he'll often send me an encouraging note after the meeting reflecting on what we discussed. I also have come to know John's care for his employees and customers, and he has really regular customers at Chick-fil-A, people that come every 2 days, every day, and every week. And he also has employees that have worked for him for a long, long time. I also know of John's and Carol's love for their children with all of their different gifts and their generosity of spirit. For instance, in the most difficult times during the pandemic, when everybody was wearing masks, when desks were 6 feet apart, when chapel was outside, and when we were using the cathedral for a classroom, John and Carol wanted to encourage JBU's faculty and staff, so they quietly gave everyone working at JBU a Chick-fil-A gift card. Thank you again for that kindness of gesture, and now it's no longer quiet that they gave it. As I worked to prepare this introduction, I was struck by how John and Carol are living out the hope that I have for all JBU alumni. They are people who are thoroughly engaged in their neighborhood, their churches, their work, their family, and their wider world, and their alma mater as expressions of their deep commitment to Christ and to loving their neighbor. We're about to create another 163 JBU alumni, and I could not think of a better person to speak to you than John about how to live a full and faithful life after JBU. Will you join me in welcoming John Spence as our fall commencement speaker?
Unfortunately, I'm not coming today to make an announcement about a Chick-fil-A opening up in Siloam Springs, so sorry about that. But I do want to say good morning, faculty, staff, family, and most importantly, the fall 2023 graduates of John Brown University. Today is not about me, some random guy that sells chicken in Little Rock. It's not even about those sitting on the stage surrounding you in the stands. Today is about celebrating your hard work and what you have accomplished. I want to say thank you to each of you for giving me the opportunity to be here today. I'd like to thank President Pollard for the gracious introduction and add just a few quick notes. I actually grew up in a combination of Montana, California, and Colorado before coming down to Siloam Springs, Arkansas to attend John Brown University. And this truly is a special place, and I hope that's something that you've experienced as well. I ended up majoring in family and human services with a minor in construction management. I'm fairly confident I'm the only JBU graduate that has managed to master that combination. I like to say I left JBU prepared to build houses and then tend to the families that lived in them. Knowing you have already heard my job title and my employer, I want to make sure that you don't get caught up in the romance of either the title owner-operator or the Chick-fil-A brand. I must confess that many facets of my daily professional life reflect that of a fast food manager. And this is a title that's not always held with the highest esteem in our society, but it's a role I believe in. It provides for my family, and ultimately it gives me the opportunity to pour into the team members that work at our restaurant, and that's truly what I'm passionate about. My beautiful wife, Carol McCulley, now McCulley Spence, we actually met here on the JBU campus. I don't know if this happened to anyone else, but we went through a series of highs and lows in our relationship. We were dating for a while, but not really dating, and then we were dating, all those things, right? And it was only after a tumultuous relationship and some tragic things in our life, but also some amazing things in our life that we finally got married in 2005. And as President Pollard mentioned, I also do have 4 incredible kids, and I'm trying to recruit all of them to attend JBU. So if you can help me out with that, please do. All right. So now I'll tell you, it was actually exactly 19 years and 361 days ago, which we can round to a cool 20 years, that I was preparing for my own December graduation ceremony. A quick note about that ceremony, I was actually almost as nervous back then as I am today. And you might be wondering, why would it be as nerve-wracking to be a graduate as it is to be giving the commencement address? Let's just say that I missed graduation rehearsal. See, the new Lord of the Rings Return of the King movie had just come out, and I was in desperate need of seeing it. So instead of going to graduation rehearsal, it's possible that I snuck out over to Rogers and caught a movie instead. The anxiety that I felt on graduation day is what my mom would call a natural consequence for my poor decision making. All right, so I'm actually going to pause here for a moment and transition to what I will call the mildly interactive portion of this commencement address. Please oblige my attempt to better understand you specifically, those wearing the caps and gowns, you, the graduating class. So if you are in the room right now wearing a graduation gown, and you both know where you will be working and where you will be living come January, please raise your hand. Okay, pretty impressive. Okay. For those who didn't raise your hands, a word of warning, God knows your thoughts. So make sure you think only kind thoughts about your graduation neighbor who was able to raise his or her hand. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience post-graduation. Actually, as I was sitting in this room, I was nervous for two reasons. One is because I had made the poor decision to ditch rehearsal. The second reason I was nervous is because I didn't know what I was going to do after I got back from Christmas break. But you want to know a secret about Christmas break when you've just graduated in December and you don't know what's coming next? It lasts forever. So I was overwhelmed by this reality that I didn't know what was coming next. And the idea of a forever Christmas break, if you'd told the 12-year-old version of myself that I was going to get to go on Christmas break forever, I would have been delighted. But as a 22-year-old who didn't know what was coming next, I'll be honest, I was filled with a mild level of terror. So you may be wondering what I did in January of 2004 when I returned to Siloam Springs largely directionless. Luckily for you and I, it's chronicled in this little blue spiral notebook that I recently found in my office. And my then girlfriend, now wife's handwriting is the heading, John's Game Plan for His New Life. Dated January 1st, or not January 1st, January 12th, 2004, for day one. What precedes is a checklist of the next steps I needed to take. Mundane tasks like waking up. More significant tasks like, let's check it out, distributing resume, having a quiet time, and the all-important calling my girlfriend midday. What took place over the next 8 months was an employment roller coaster. I applied to be a substitute teacher. I worked as a recruiter for temp employees at a manufacturing facility and was then laid off myself. This led me to my own temp job doing data entry in the middle of a manufacturing floor at a plant over in Springdale. It was here that I learned that if I wanted a valid reason for taking consistent breaks, I was either going to have to A, take up smoking, or B, I was going to have to start drinking intense amounts of water to inspire many restroom breaks throughout the day. I ended up purchasing a 32-ounce refillable water bottle. During this period of wandering through my professional desert, I learned lessons that I carry with me to this very day. I learned how to communicate to people with respect, even when it includes a difficult subject matter. I witnessed the value of productive conflict in meeting rooms. Mostly, I learned to work hard, own my own personal financial responsibilities, be curious, and never stop putting one work boot in front of another, especially on the days that I did not want to. Graduates, I encourage you to embrace your journey wherever, and I do mean wherever it may take you. In the fall of 2004, I applied to be a graduate fellow with a leadership organization here on campus that President Pollard mentioned. It allowed me to get a fully funded master's degree. And this is just another quick footnote, as a parent maybe. Even though I, as a current member of JBU's Board of Trustees, love to see a healthy number of students enrolled in graduate programs, and I do believe in our graduate programs, I do not believe a graduate degree is a cure for professional uncertainty. A graduate degree that aligns and enhances your professional trajectory can be invaluable, but when used to stall the future, it can become a delayed financial ankle weight, all right, returning to the story at hand. I then spent the next 2 years with this leadership development organization traveling to exotic locations like Guatemala, Hawaii. Guatemala, is Joe Wallencheck here? Yeah, to Guatemala, so I got to go to Guatemala, shout out to Joe Wallencheck. Guatemala, Hawaii, American Samoa, and well, of course, Indiana. As a fellow, I took notes. I changed sheets on beds at our retreat center. I served meals. I did dishes. I also received a Master's of Science in Leadership and Ethics and listened in and took notes as CEOs of major companies shared their leadership struggles. These titans of industry began to look a little more human to me. I then began to think, they're human. I know that I'm human. I've now heard them talk about their struggles, and I'm keenly aware of my own personal struggles. Maybe I should look into opportunities in the business sector. Graduates, I want to encourage you. You are not, nor ever will be an imposter. If you are invited into a room, you belong there. You are not an imposter, or at least no more of an imposter than I am today standing in front of you, right? So while I was doing the fellowship, my girlfriend was working with a close family friend as one of his top leaders at his brand new Chick-fil-A restaurant in the Scottsdale Center in Rogers, Arkansas. As any young man trying to put a ring on the finger of his beautiful girlfriend would do, I volunteered to be her marketing assistant. This meant that when I was not studying for grad school or traveling to exotic locations like Hawaii, I was hopping in and out of a cow costume. That's right, on nights and weekends, I moonlighted as the Chick-fil-A cow. Upon graduation and completion of my fellowship, Scott Clark, the same family friend who employed my now wife, sat me down and said I should look into Chick-fil-A as a career. I had ambitions of building orphanages in Africa, so serving waffle fries in a drive-thru candidly felt a little bit beneath me. But he was persistent. Then one Sunday, I walked into church with my wife, Carol, and on the screen was the theme for the message that day. And it said, "Take this job and love it," which I presume is a take on a somewhat less savory expression, but that's okay. The passage being taught that day was this, 1 Thessalonians 4:11 through 12. Make it your ambition to lead a quiet life, to mind your own business, and to work with your hands, just as we told you, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders and so that you will not be dependent on anybody. That day, as we walked out of church, I looked over at Carol and said I was going to pursue a career with Chick-fil-A. I spent some time with my grad degree in hand, working the front counter of the Chick-fil-A restaurant, serving everything except for Chick-fil-A sauce. I actually refused to serve Chick-fil-A sauce for one very specific reason. It had not been invented yet. So this led Carol and I down a road that allowed us to open as owner-operator the first freestanding restaurant in Little Rock more than 16 years ago. I'll be honest, the journey has included celebration, but it's also included grief. It's included many, many successes, but it's also included a fair number of failures as well. Graduates, my next challenge to you, listen to that still small voice. It sees beyond your current horizon and has good, albeit sometimes difficult plans for you. One of my favorite opportunities created by my profession was an annual invitation back to the JBU campus to speak with a small group of graduating seniors about what it means to lead a more ordinary versus extraordinary life. For more than 10 years, I would share many of the same stories about contemplating taking up smoking or getting hit by snowballs thrown by punk teenagers while I was in a cow costume. I would add a few more anecdotes about team members who went from barely speaking English to not only running our restaurant, but being influential members of our community. Then I would sprinkle in a story or two about team members I'd recently fired and the silly reasons that she or he had to be let go. Becky Rothfuss, my mentor and faculty member responsible for the sessions, always knew how I was going to end the time together. I would survey the room of students, much smaller than this, and I'd prepare to burst some of their bubbles, but for others, I'd be preparing to lift a weight off of their shoulders. I would ask them how many people they knew had truly changed the world over the course of history. Truly changed the world over the course of history. So you've got a few, you've got the Mother Teresas, and of course you have Jesus. You have some high-powered political leaders that have made a long-lasting impact in our world. But when you really think about it, of the billions of humans that have lived, the number of people that have truly changed the world is infinitesimally small. I would then implore them with the following message. You may or may not change the world, and in fact, you likely won't, but God has equipped you to change your world. Those in the cubicle next to you, those who walk in the front door of your business, worship next to you at church, or those who reside under your roof. Today I've shared names like Carol McCulley, now Spence, Scott Clark, and even Becky Rothfuss. You've likely never heard of them, some of you may have, but they have shaped me professionally, and I would argue that they have even shaped me eternally. My own name, John Spence, you probably won't remember come Monday morning or even possibly in about 10 minutes. I firmly believe global recognition is not the point of our existence. Loving God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and loving your neighbor. Think about that for just a moment. Loving your neighbor as yourself. That is the reason why we do what we do. So graduates, yes, you may never change the world, but I know with every single fiber in my being that the individuals sitting before me right now are going to change the small to maybe mid-sized to maybe even large-sized, whatever size world it is around you, that you are going to make an eternal and significant impact on your world. Thank you and congratulations.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degrees please stand?
President Pollard, as representative of the faculty, I recommend that these students be recognized for the completion of requirements for their respective degrees: Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science in Education, Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Bachelor of Business Administration, Associate of Science, and Associate of Arts.
Upon recommendation of the faculty and as directed by the Board of Trustees, subject to completion of all final requirements, John Brown University confers upon you said bachelor's degrees with all of their rights, privileges, and obligations. Congratulations.
At this time, the first row of candidates will please come to the platform. The remaining candidates will be seated. As directed by the student marshal, you will come to the platform to be recognized. Emily Tucker, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Jennifer Couch, Bachelor of Science, Liberal Arts. Megan Ray Holloway, Bachelor of Science, Graphic Design. Ashley Renee Newton, Bachelor of Science, Graphic Design, summa cum laude. Megan Grace Duncan, Bachelor of Arts, English, magna cum laude, Presidential Honors. Cody L. Funk, Bachelor of Science, Biology, cum laude. Megan Border, Bachelor of Science, Family and Human Services. Michael B. Chapel, Bachelor of Science, Biology. Connor D. France, Bachelor of Science, Graphic Design, Art and Illustration, magna cum laude. Riley Ann Brown, Bachelor of Science in Education, Elementary Education. Callie Joy Ertel, Bachelor of Science, Construction Management, cum laude. Kendall Elise Williams, Bachelor of Arts, Spanish. Kennedy Ann Yuri, Bachelor of Science, Family and Human Services, cum laude. Jessica Grace Barber, Bachelor of Science, Family and Human Services. Jace C. Richardson, Bachelor of Science, Graphic Design. William LaCurtis Newton, Bachelor of Arts, English, cum laude, University Honors. Logan A. Dean, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Ethan A. Sipes, Bachelor of Science, Outdoor Leadership Ministries, cum laude, University Honors. Anna R. Johnson, Bachelor of Science, Outdoor Leadership Ministries, cum laude. Kirsten Joyce Rolfs, Bachelor of Business Administration, Management. McKenna Nicole DeBette Atkinson, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology, Spanish. Veronica Lopez, Bachelor of Business Administration Management. Gabriela Flores, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Haley Ann Moyer, Bachelor of Science, Art and Illustration. Brandy McGarr, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Alexia R. Arnold, Bachelor of Business Administration, Management. Karen Gonzalez, Bachelor of Science, Business Administration. Natalie Nicole Kirby, Bachelor of Science, Graphic Design, Photography, cum laude. Shelley Marie McLaughlin, Bachelor of Science, General Studies. Janet Taylor, Bachelor of Science, Liberal Arts with distinction. Tracy M. Baker, Bachelor of Business Administration, Management. Jeffrey Chad Johnson, Bachelor of Science, Psychology with distinction. Connor Stephen Munch, Bachelor of Science, Digital Cinema. Jaden Lee Tata, Bachelor of Science, Digital Cinema. Michelle L. Burney, Bachelor of Science, Digital Cinema. Joshin Lee, Bachelor of Science, Photography. Zachary D. Cood, Bachelor of Science, Construction Management. Keith Allen Stockberger, Bachelor of Science, Liberal Arts. Alexis Faith Brown, Bachelor of Science, Family and Human Services, cum laude. Emily Joy Acker, Bachelor of Science, Family and Human Services, Psychology, magna cum laude, Presidential Honors. Lindy Rochelle Mullins, Bachelor of Business Administration, Marketing, Economics, Data Analytics. Sydney Ann Frager, Bachelor of Science in Education, Elementary Education, summa cum laude. Kelsey R. Skorup, Bachelor of Science, Family and Human Services, magna cum laude. Sarah Joy Yoon, Bachelor of Science in Education, Elementary Education, cum laude. Camden Grace Hull, Bachelor of Science in Education, Elementary Education, summa cum laude. Matthew Michael Campbell, Bachelor of Science, Graphic Design. Landon James Stuckey, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Emily Nicole Stuckey, Bachelor of Science, Family and Human Services, cum laude. Haley Renee Crable Phillips, Bachelor of Science, Family and Human Services, cum laude. Jacob Warren Landis, Bachelor of Science, Political Science, magna cum laude. Daniel James Lorenz, Bachelor of Science, Construction Management. Diego Alberto Flores, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, magna cum laude. Morgan Amanda Coker, Bachelor of Science, Construction Management. Jonathan Scott Ewan, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology. Chelsea Elena Funkhauser, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology, summa cum laude. Sarah Catherine Smith, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology, summa cum laude. Corey Michelle Winter, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology, Psychology, cum laude, University Honors. Mariah Hine, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Lucas Patrick Spiegel, Bachelor of Business Administration, International Business. James Britt Bullock, Bachelor of Science, Liberal Arts with distinction. Christian Marroquin, Associate of Science, Construction Management. Kylie Marie Kilfoy, Bachelor of Business Administration, International Business, Psychology, summa cum laude. Gabriela Alejandra Arosamena Marin, Bachelor of Science, Integrated Marketing, Communications, and Communication, cum laude. Oscar J. Carballo, Bachelor of Science, Construction Management. Salacia Malia McBride, Bachelor of Science, Mechanical Engineering. Jillian Jade Blackman, Bachelor of Science, Intercultural Studies. Christian A. Bradley, Bachelor of Science, Biology. Will the candidates for the master's degree please stand?
President Pollard, as representative of the faculty, I recommend that these students be recognized for completion of requirements for their respective degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Science, Master of Business Administration, and Master of Education.
Upon recommendation of the faculty and as directed by the Board of Trustees, subject to completion of all final requirements, John Brown University confers upon you said master's degree with all of its rights, privileges, and obligations. Congratulations.
At this time, the first row of candidates will please come to the platform. The remaining candidates will be seated. As directed by the student marshal, you will come to the platform to be recognized. Samuel Estrada, Master of Business Administration. Catherine Grace Estrada, Master of Business Administration. Joseph A. Mason, Master of Science, Leadership. Mary Faith Neal, Master of Business Administration. Haley L. Calicott, Master of Business Administration. Chancellor Frederick Moschel, Master of Business Administration. Caleb Matthew Schultz, Master of Business Administration. Benjamin C. Hightower, Master of Business Administration. Abigail Susan Hampton, Master of Business Administration. Elena M. Blakely, Master of Business Administration. Charles Paul Edmondson, Master of Business Administration. Joel T. Stinnett, Master of Business Administration. Stephen Anthony McChristy, Master of Business Administration. Peyton N. Wilson, Master of Business Administration. Amanda Joan Gibson, Master of Business Administration. Thomas D. Wright, Master of Business Administration. Greta Lynn Pryor, Master of Science, Leadership. Faith Ann Preston Brown, Master of Science, Counseling. Hannah Lee Chung, Master of Science, Counseling. Sydney C. Morton, Master of Science, Counseling. Madeline Knight, Master of Science, Counseling. Tara Cherie Phillips, Master of Science, Counseling. Carrie Walker, Master of Science, Counseling. Jennifer A. Poindexter, Master of Science, Counseling. Kimberly K. Robertson, Master of Science, Counseling. Travis John Roth, Master of Science, Clinical Mental Health Counseling. David Allen Schaefer, Master of Science, Counseling. Rebecca R. Gillis, Master of Science, Counseling. Stacy Simpson, Master of Science, Counseling. Jacob Christian Brown, Master of Science, Counseling. Janie Alice Crow, Master of Science, Counseling. Mabry Aaron Cruz, Master of Science, Counseling. Amanda Greathouse, Master of Science, Counseling. Timothy M. Stoner, Master of Science, Counseling. Sarah Elizabeth Bogie, Master of Science, Counseling. Ina J. Scott, Master of Science, Counseling. Laura Lynn Unruh, Master of Science, Counseling. Shelby Ann Levy, Master of Science, Counseling. Rebecca Norton Todd, Master of Science, Counseling. Kimberly Jo Parker Cheshire, Master of Science, Counseling. Madison Elise Smith, Master of Science, Counseling. Ryan Edward Sylvester, Master of Science, Counseling. Caleb Kendricks Boggs, Master of Science, Counseling. Stephanie Rebecca Nesbitt, Master of Science, Counseling. Buffy A. Hall, Master of Science, Counseling. Crystal Ann Kelly, Master of Science, Counseling. Ricky Lavelle Whitmore, Master of Science, Counseling. Sarah Ann Hayden, Master of Science, Counseling. Connie R. Fines, Master of Science, Counseling. Jessica Michelle Carroll, Master of Education, Education Studies. Callie Elizabeth Dean, Master of Education, Education Studies. Jessie Lee Young, Master of Education, School Counseling. Crystal D. Skaggs, Master of Education, School Counseling. Heather Joanne Quint, Master of Education, Education Studies. Jacob Allen Van Leer, Master of Education, Education Studies. Lauren Ashley Richardson, Master of Education, Education Studies. Bethany Sue Ames Chastain, Master of Arts, Higher Education. Jason R. Aiken, Master of Science, Cybersecurity. Roy Francisco Campos Mora, Master of Science, Cybersecurity. May I present the Fall 2023 graduating class of John Brown University.
Please pray with me. Our Father in heaven, you are a compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger and abounding in faithful love and truth, maintaining steadfast love to 1,000 generations, forgiving iniquity, rebellion, and sin, but who will by no means clear the guilty. You alone are worthy to be praised. Thank you for your provision for these graduates throughout their education, and forgive us all for when we have attributed success to our own power and abilities, without remembering that you, the Lord, give us the power to gain education and wealth, providing us with our daily needs and the breath that fills our lungs. Guide these graduates as they take the next steps in their lives. Help us to be people who honor you and serve others, proclaiming the praises of the one who called us out of darkness and into his marvelous light. As we leave this place, please go with your people. May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Amen.
Please remain in your seat for the recessional. You are encouraged to meet your graduate at the reception in the Simmons Great Hall. Please look for signage to direct you there.